velocity discharge of magnetic energy.
Priscilla, get a reading on that CME.
It's headed straight for us, sir.
Molly, how long do we have until impact?
1 minute, 30 seconds.
Donton, MIE's at full power.
Sir, they are not responding. The computer system is reconfiguring for magnetic interference. We only have pulse power.
How long do they come back online, Lieutenant?
Calculating, sir.
Warning, magneto shield at 89%. PSU fluctuation sector 13.
Great. What else could go wrong? How long, Lieutenant?
About 45 seconds, sir.
45 seconds till impact with high velocity magnetic energy.
The magneto shield has dropped to 86%.
Engage auxiliary backup power.
We have stage 1 power, but we still can't outrun it.
Warning, 10 seconds till impact, class 6.9.
Guys, it's a big one. Brace for impact.
Captain, the main panel is on fire.
Shut it off, quick! Good morning. Did everyone sleep well?
I did as soon as I found my pillow, which was miraculously hanging from the ceiling in the kitchen.
How long did it take you to find it?
Oh, about 5 minutes.
Man, I was hoping it'd take at least 30.
It might have if you would come up with a different hiding place, but you're always hanging my things on the ceiling, so I always know to look up. Actually, I'm glad you're consistent.
So, where are we?
We are approaching 3 million kilometers from the sun with a weather forecast of mostly sunny, not a cloud to be seen for miles. Be sure to put on that sunscreen, because folks, it's going to be hot.
What was that?
Warning, the Genesis 7 has received indirect contact with high velocity magnetic energy at sector 12. Magneto shield responder number 13 has been damaged.
The magneto shield is not working at full power, sir.
Pull back the throttle and stop the ship, Lieutenant. We can't go any further unless those shields come back up to full power and fast.
Warning, magneto shield at 89%.
According to the magnetoscope, we just encountered a small solar flare.
We must have taken a little bit of a beating. It appears to have damaged one of the magneto shield responders. Not to worry, Captain, I'm on it.
Magneto responder number 13 has been recovered. Magneto shield at 100%.
Well, that was definitely more excitement than I anticipated this early in the mission. We could be in for a rough ride later on.
Are you okay, Donton?
I want to go home. Nah, I'm good.
Lieutenant Jennings, you just missed all of the fun.
Unfortunately, I watched the whole event unfold. Are you all right?
We just had a little scare with our magneto shield for a moment, but it was nothing major. Everything was back in working order in no time.
I was told by Admiral Croft that even with the slight radiation exposure you all experienced with the shields operating at 89%, you all need to take the necessary precautions for radiation exposure. That means you'll need to drink plenty of grape juice. And if any of you start feeling the slightest bit ill, do not hesitate to take the antioxidant prescription provided in the med lab. You can never be too careful.
Thank you, Lieutenant. We'll begin the grape juice regimen immediately. Meanwhile, I need you to stay with us on this mission. The sun is more active than I expected, and it'd be great to have another person watching the sensors for anything unexpected.
Of course, Captain. I'm afraid the term unexpected will be the theme of this mission. I'll be available anytime you need me. Is he all right?
Lieutenant, what are you doing?
Not much, just stretching my legs. Gotta do something to keep my sanity.
And are you quite sure it's working? Keeping your sanity, I mean. It looks a little more like you might be losing it, dear.
Nah, that's his normal behavior. Actually, come to think of it, I would hate to see what it looked like if he did lose his sanity.
You two never cease to amuse me.
Reduce speed 50%. Priscilla, engage the extreme ultraviolet imager.
EIT is engaged at 171 angstroms, sir.
Priscilla, as we approach 1 million kilometers from the sun, begin measuring the light and heat output from that point through the rest of the mission.
Yes, sir. Hey, Donton, on the fourth day, God created the sun.
This is found in Genesis 1.
Without the sun, there'd be no fun.
No green grass or trees or flowers.
No animals or life, no oxygen or hours.
If millions of years pass between,
Day 4 of creation and day 3,
how can plant life survive?
millions of years of darkness and night.
Bravo, guys. Where did you learn that?
It was a poem our mom taught us to help us to remember the many arguments against the day equals millions of years theory.
There was a time when many men compromised the clear teaching of the Bible to be accepted by the science of their day. Some still hold to this archaic way of thinking. But as our view of biblical creation grew, our understanding of the cosmos grew along with it.
I suppose Satan has always been trying to deceive people, even Christians, which reminds me of the verse that says there's nothing new under the sun. No pun intended, of course.
Sure.
But it still amazes me that people fall for this stuff.
It amazes you, Priscilla, because God has been merciful to you and has opened your eyes to make His truth plain to you. But we can't forget to have compassion on those who are still blind, because they literally can't see the truth. To them, it is foolishness.
So if they can't see and they can't understand, then there's no hope for those people, right?
Do you remember in the Bible when Jesus said that it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven?
Yes.
Right after this, His disciples asked, "Who then can be saved?" Jesus responded by saying that with man it is impossible, but with God all things are possible. So why do you think salvation is impossible?
Because before we are saved, our nature only desires evil and does not desire God?
Exactly. And can a dead man raise himself from the dead?
I suppose not.
Scripture says that before Christ saves us, we are truly dead spiritually. But when we are saved, Christ performs a miracle in our soul, raising us from death to life, and He takes away our blindness so that we can see and understand truth.
When I was saved, I wanted to be saved. If salvation is a good thing, then how is it that I desired to have it?
Because at that point, Priscilla, God had already opened your eyes and changed your desires.
So God does everything then?
Everything.
Wow, it is a miracle. I've never seen it like that before.
Hello, Captain. I see you're moving close. We are watching a disturbance in the southern hemisphere. We have uplinked the Genesis solar orbiter to your system. The information should be streaming now.
So far, so good, Lieutenant. We're about to launch the deep solar probe, and then hopefully we can begin moving away from the sun again.
Excellent. The sooner you're moving away from the sun, the sooner I can rest easier.
Lieutenant Andrews, prepare the solar probe for launch. Priscilla, stand by for data analysis.
Is there anything in particular that I need to look for, Captain?
This probe is designed to travel through the entire sun, giving us information about each layer, such as temperature readings, activity, density, and energy output. I need you to collect all of this information and transmit it back to Genesis Command. This probe is the heart of our mission to the sun.
Mom would have loved to have been on this mission. Studying the sun was her passion, you know?
I know. She always wanted to study the sun up close.
Yeah, Dad, on the other hand, never really liked the idea of getting so close to a giant, out-of-control nuclear power plant.
I hate that she can't be here to see its first trip out.
I'm sure she wouldn't wish to be here with us if given the option after being in such a glorious place with Christ.
Yeah, you have a good point.
Captain, the solar probe is ready for launch. And the solar probe is flying free.
The probe is in the core, Captain. I knew the sun had a differential rotation, but to see it up close is amazing.
Yeah, look at that churning going on near the equator. It's spinning much slower than the poles.
And that causes stress on the magnetosphere. Those ropes of magnetic energy become so entangled that they break their connection and send energy hurling into space at 800 miles per second.
We are near a solar maximum. We couldn't have arrived at a better time.
Well, I don't know about you, but getting smacked by a ball of energy traveling at 800 miles per second doesn't sound like a lot of fun to me.
Ah, Donton, where's your sense of adventure? Did you leave it back on the moon?
You are such a sweet sister.
You know, there have been a few really strong coronal mass ejections in recent history. One about 93 years ago caused a blackout in eastern Canada.
I remember reading that in some of Mom's papers. She said it tripped some relays and fried a bunch of circuitry in the power plant. It's a lot of power from 93 million miles away.
Yeah, I read that too. They were without power for 9 hours.
When I was in flight school in northern Missouri, I went to visit with Lieutenant Jennings. We had a family cookout right on Bull Shoals Lake. Right after sunset, the sky began to glow with all these beautiful colors. It was amazing. Have you guys ever seen the aurora?
Yes, sir. That's one of the perks of being a creation brat. When Mom and Dad went to the University of Colorado, me and Donton were playing paintball in Research Park, and we saw it.
Yeah, I remember that. I tried to recreate it in one of their labs and got into a bunch of trouble.
Yeah, and Dad was not happy.
Yeah, the whole lab smelled really bad, but I couldn't resist opening that vial of Who Me.
You didn't?
Yes.
You did?
What was that stuff anyway?
It was developed by the French during World War II to spray on the Germans to humiliate them.
I'm pretty sure all that did was make them mad.
So, update us on the probe, Priscilla.
The probe has made it through the core and all the data has finished transmitting.
Excellent. I think it's time we move out. Donton, let's give the sun some space.
Yes, sir, Captain.
Warning, high velocity discharge of magnetic energy.
Priscilla, get a reading on that CME.
It's headed straight for us, sir.
Molly, how long do we have until impact?
1 minute, 30 seconds.
Donton, MIE's at full power.
Sir, they are not responding. The computer system is reconfiguring for magnetic interference. We only have pulse power.
How long do they come back online, Lieutenant?
Calculating, sir.
Warning, magnetoshield at 89%. PSU fluctuation sector 13.
Great. What else could go wrong? How long, Lieutenant?
About 45 seconds, sir.
45 seconds till impact with high velocity magnetic energy.
The magnetoshield has dropped to 86%.
Engage auxiliary backup power.
We have stage 1 power. We still can't outrun it.
Warning, 10 seconds till impact, class 6.9.
Guys, it's a big one. Brace for impact.
High velocity discharge of magnetic energy.
Captain, the main panel is on fire.
Shut it off, quick!
Donton? Donton?
Is everyone okay?
I'm fine, but I think Donton's hurt pretty bad.
Roll me a light.
What happened?
We're gonna need a first aid kit. Priscilla, tend to him while I assess the damage.
Okay.
Molly, what's our system status?
Automatic system shutdown. System failure. Power system unit offline. Current controller shut down. MIE offline. Battery power engaged.
Captain, without power we have no way to fight the gravitational pull of the sun.
Donton, where's the override system key?
It's in Priscilla's desk.
All right, Donton, can you give me the override sequence?
AA 2734 die override.
Priscilla, let's help Donton back into his chair. Molly, how long until we reach escape velocity threshold?
12 hours and 23 minutes until escape velocity threshold.
Donton, can you get the power system unit back up in that time?
I think so. Sis, you need to make this quick. I gotta get back to the engineering.
You're not going anywhere until I get these wounds cleaned and bandaged. Now sit still.
Captain, are you there? Captain, do you read me?
I read you loud and clear, Lieutenant.
Oh, thank goodness. You got dangerously close. I was beginning to think the worst had happened. Is everyone okay?
Ow.
Sorry, but you had a nasty burn and it has some pieces of your shirt in it.
Donton has a few deep cuts and some nasty burns, but I think he'll be okay. Our power's completely down. We only have enough power to see to work on the power system unit, and we're drifting toward the sun.
You have a little over 12 hours before you reach the escape velocity threshold. Captain, our engineers are working on the possible PSU damage assessments. And we're praying.
There, that should hold you together for a while.
Captain, request permission to assess the power system unit.
Permission granted.
Do you think he's up to the task?
There's no one else I'd rather have on it.
Wow, it sure is hot in here. I'll see if I can get at least one of the air exchange unit systems working.
That would be nice, but set it to low power. We don't want to overtax the system.
I remember in history class that there was a movement around the turn of the century where people said they thought the Earth was warming because of fossil fuels.
I bet if they were here right now, they would understand very well what heats the Earth.
Sir, the PSU is in very bad condition. The superconductor is fried, the main wiring harness is melted, and the neodymium capacitors need to be replaced.
Can you repair it in 12 hours?
I think so.
I'm coming to help you.
Well, we won't be needing that anymore.
I should say not. Pass me that tester. This whole bank of circuits is dead.
The entire system is dead, which I don't understand. There should be some power. I designed redundant systems throughout.
Well, we need to find the problem. We have 8 hours max until the escape velocity threshold. After that, even if we restore the power, we can't escape the sun's gravity.
It seems as if, well, never mind.
Don't hold back on me now, Lieutenant.
It's as if someone sabotaged the system.
Well, let's keep our heads and focus on the problem at hand. We need to locate the issue and go from there.
Hey guys, I brought you some water. Have you found the problem yet?
Not yet, but we've eliminated a few possibilities.
Like the possibility of getting this thing fixed before we are fried in the sun.
With God, all things are possible.